Selamat sejahtera dan selamat sepupu. Now, for those of you who were insulated, living on an island, or you ran away because of a digital detox, fun fact. Singapore had its general elections and it looks like the PAP has won an overwhelming victory. 65.57% of the national vote, 87 out of 97 seats won in parliament, and a whole generation of new political memes later, the new government of Lawrence Wong is in power. Wow. I know that some of you are not happy with the election result. I think that's very normal, especially in a democratic society. But I think that there was also a lot of people who were very surprised because they felt for themselves that they were actually in an echo chamber. Now, a lot has been said about whether there was a so-called flight to safety or whether there was some other thing that was going on that made the swing back to the PAP so large and so evident. I don't know if people all know this, but basically PM Wong, right, is the only Prime Minister who, in coming into government after a new term, right, actually managed to improve the vote share of the PAP. Like from something like 61% in GE 2020, he ended up bringing the vote share for the PAP up to 65%. Now you can say that gerrymandering lah, you can say any number of other things, but if I were to guess why that happened, I think that Singaporeans, I can see how the Singaporean PAP leadership go out and make intelligent decisions for the benefit of their societies, their communities and stuff of that nature right there. Haven't really seen a reason to go out there and question it. You could say that it's boring, but I think that there's a sort of art in that boringness. But you know, end of the day, one thing I really do find inspiring is how Singaporeans of all walks of life, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, rejected race and religion-based politics. I think that this was most demonstrated when people on Vigilante first noticed Norderos's post and then they alerted the government about it, but not before sharing about it. And then the entire government came out and then actually spoke up about how race and religion cannot, should not, and by no means should be allowed the space to encroach upon policy making in public life in Singapore. I think that PM Wong and SM Lee made that manifestly clear, and it was really heartening for me as a citizen of Malaysia to see that development going on in another multiracial and multi-religious society just like Malaysia. I think that you guys handled that balance very well with an incredible civil society that's highly educated and knows how to actually use self-awareness in order to deal with these matters rather than allowing polemics and appeals to populism to govern the day. I mean, as Singapore moves forward under PM Wong, I think that there's still a lot of stuff that really has to be done, dealing with many complex issues that relate to the cost of living, housing, healthcare, education, and so on, while thinking about how to chart out and build the future of the next 100, 200, or 1,000 years ahead. Congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister. I think once upon a time, I look left, look right, look left, look right. Also, catch no ball about what kind of Prime Minister you would be. But as it turned out, you were actually very much wiser than I knew. I learned a lot from you from the S. Rajaratnam lecture, but that wasn't all. Like, the whole tariff thing, I think, made the whole world respect you. But for me, at least, what I really enjoyed about the way that you conducted yourself throughout this entire election was the way that you immediately came out in response to the foreign interference from Paise Malaysia, and you immediately stopped it by calling a press conference, navigating through that whole mixture of toxic race and religion politics, and also foreign interference in a way that I can only describe as statesman-like. If only Anwar Ibrahim were half as good as that, I can only imagine how much this relationship would thrive. I know that Prime Minister Anwar has already congratulated you along the way, but I want to express my unreserved respect for the way that you've managed to pull through. And something that you said during the election really made an impression on me. You said, at the end of the day, the real contest is not PAP against the opposition, it is Singapore versus the world. I think this really inspired me because it made me realize that at the end of the day, every single nation has to have unity. Unity in purpose, unity in strength, unity in addressing all the issues that the communities have. Of course, I think that Singapore isn't perfect. No country really is. But I actually want to remind you of something that you may not have remembered from Singapore's history. In Third World to First, which was founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew's second memoir, he said that if I had to choose one word to explain why Singapore succeeded, it is confidence. That's what made foreign investors site their factories and their refineries here. That's what made people believe in Singapore and the Singaporean project, and also in the quality of your people. And it is this confidence that you have earned, if not necessarily from every Singaporean, then definitely at least the people who voted for you and the rest whose trust I think you will still have to earn along the way. We are in a changed world now, one filled with tariffs, threats, war going on beyond our borders, the threat of trade wars, the necessity to align ourselves as regional blocs in a whole VUCA world that frankly many of us cannot predict. But you've gained my confidence, and I hope that we will have many more years together being good partners to one another, and that collectively we will grow in wisdom together. Congratulations to the people of Singapore. My condolences to you if you felt that this was an assault on your sense of self and you wanted the hammer to fall. Look at the bright side. You are strong people, and whatever happens, take heart, get good, and I'll look forward to seeing many more of you in the days ahead. Alright, that's it, and bye.